We have breaking news tonight. At least 3 people are dead after the Amtrak Empire builder derailed on the High Line. Now, dozens of others are injured. Good evening, I'm Cornelia Nicholson. New information, we're learning more tonight about a shooting outside a Kalispell Fitness Center that left 1 person dead and 2 others injured. Corey, you can do anything you set your mind to. I mean, just look at me and Tracy. Reach for the stars, girl. Law enforcement on the Blackfeet Reservation says they're starting another search for 3-year-old Arden Pepion and 26-year-old Leo Wagner, who have both been missing since April. I wonder how long it's going to take her to get out. We should probably time her. Well, let's send things over to Tracy to see what type of fall weather we're going to be getting into. Hey, Tracy. I am definitely not a spider person. And this year, the expedition is expanding to 4 different locations, including 2 places right here in the Treasure State. Greg, I want you to imagine that you're on your way to work, you're driving, and the next thing you know, you hear a loud bang coming from underneath your hood. They have been trying to make contact with the suspect inside the home. They have rammed in the door with a battering ram. And as you can see, this wind is no joke right now. It's blowing pretty strong. I can barely keep my hair contained. When those numbers initially came out, let me tell you, the whole room filled up with cheers and clapping. Greg, you might be wondering why you can't see me right now, and that's because I'm dressed in my camo gear. Now, I was able to shoot and hit the target in the last hour at 5 p.m., so we're going to see if I can try it one more time. And look at that. But while they're in stock now, they could be gone in a blink of an eye. Deals are probably a steal right now. But the Billings Police Department says be on the lookout for people sending those packages right off your front porch. By January 4th, Montana employees are going to need their vaccination cards filled out, or they're going to have to start wearing one of these, regardless of the state's ban on vaccine mandates. University of Montana law professor Anthony Johnstone said, whenever federal and state laws conflict, federal law is the law of the land. He said the most important thing for Montanans to understand is, like any other Occupational Safety and Health Act requirements, businesses are required to follow them.
OSHA does not have a large enforcement capacity, but a business that does not follow the OSHA rule would be violating federal law, and the fact that Montana has a different law that conflicts with it would be no defense to that violation.
The federal government already warned companies that don't follow the requirements will face a more than $13,000 fine per violation. Companies have until January 4th to comply. In Billings, Cornelia Nicholson, Montana, right now. Greg, that nationwide shortage of blood has definitely impacting the Treasure State. Now, St. Vincent Healthcare tells me that this blood shortage has been going on for over a year. And right now, they're in urgent need of type O blood and platelets. In a Facebook post, a physician with St. Vincent Hospital says blood supply is so low, she had to decide which of her patients would receive the last amount they had.
We find ourselves in a situation where we have to make a phone call to those ordering doctors and ask them to maybe consider holding off of a transfusion, or maybe not giving that transfusion entirely when we're in a blood shortage situation. So that's a terrible position to be in.
St. Vincent Dr. Michael Brown says donated blood is necessary for trauma patients, surgeries, cancer treatment, and transfusions. Without it, it can mean life or death for some residents.
We don't want to be in that type of setting where we're having to make decisions about who should and who should not get blood products.
Vitalant Communications Manager Tori Robbins says the pandemic plays a big part in the decline of blood supply because they had to cancel many of their blood drives.
20 to 25% of our blood supply comes from school drives. So we are seeing a decline quicker and earlier than we're used to.
Robbins says typically they tend to see a drop in donations around the holidays. But weather conditions also play a role in donations.
We often have to cancel blood drives because of weather-related issues, and so getting out and donating right away as soon as you can.
Robin tells me Vitalant provides blood to majority of Montana's hospitals, and right now they need 1,000 more donations per week to ease the effects of the shortage. Having a criminal past can make it hard to find a job. With many companies closing their doors on anyone with a record, Mike Copenhaver says he leaves his door wide open. Copenhaver knows what it's like to have your past come back to haunt you. So when he opened up his construction company, CM&E, he knew he wanted to help formerly incarcerated people succeed.
My idea behind it is just basing that off how I felt in the past and being able to give somebody that is on that right track and wants to go the right direction the opportunity.
Larry Archuleta has been in and out of the prison system since he was a child. He says after being released, it was nearly impossible to find a job.
Being a felon out here, you're looked down upon unless you have some time underneath your belt in the community. Being able to be hired to a company that actually accepts felons is life-changing, not only for myself, but for my family.
Copenhaver says while he does give his employees a second chance, he still holds them accountable and wants to help turn their lives around.
I like to be the type of employee or employer that my employees can come to and say, hey man, I'm struggling and I need some help, and we can help put them in the right direction, but essentially it's their decision.
We need to be connected again. And in order to do that, we have to give back to those who need it. And that's what we want to do.
For Copenhaver and his employees, it's not just a job or a second chance. It's a family.
I've never met a company that, not only stands a person's problems and trials and tribulations, but also kind of works with that person to get them back on their feet, to be more adapted to the community.
For anyone out there feeling hopeless, CM&E wants people to know
You're never, ever going to be alone. And there will always be something for you out there. Keep moving, keep pushing forward. You will never be alone.
CME and E, we're killing the game, so you can't touch this crew. Come on now.
CM&E has multiple job openings right now, and if you're looking for a second chance or just need a job, we have a link where you can apply over on our website. In Billings, Cornelia Nicholson, Montana, right now. Thank you so much for joining us. Have a wonderful night.